Welcome to Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri. Historic gymnasium, the site of today's game on a crisp and cool winter afternoon. Temperatures dropping below freezing, the winds picking up, but we've got some warm holiday hoops here for you on Westminster Athletics YouTube page.
Hello everybody, my name is Garrett Jones. Happy to be with you this afternoon, bringing you all the action as Westminster takes on the Spalding travel from Louisville, Kentucky. Both teams really need some good positioning in the SLIAC conference. Spalding looking for win number 8 on the season. Westminster looking for number 5. Blue Jays looking to defend home court as well as we get going from Westminster College.
First off, we'll start with the starting lineups. First for Spalding, Say Gahagan gets things started along with Hunter Wright, Megan Going, Malia Hearn, and Allison Just. Starting off for the Golden Eagles again, that's Gahagan, Wright, Going, Hearn, and Just. For the head coach Charlie Just in his 17th season. We'll have much more on him in a moment. And for the home Blue Jays, this is how they roll out under first-year head coach Talisha Washington. Mickelin Callahan, a senior, gets things going. Corey Reese joins her along with Kaylee Dowler, Reese Arnold, and Abby Reese. Again, for Westminster, that's Callahan, Reese, Dowler, Arnold, and Abby Reese. Just about ready for tip. We've got our officials for today, Gabe Jones, Clint Paulson, and Jesse Minton. Minton will be responsible for the tip. Spalding in the road yellow, accented with gold piping and blue lettering. Westminster in the alternate gray uniforms. Tip-off secured, won by Spalding, but Westminster winds up with it. They will be moving left to right as we describe the action. Spalding will be moving right to left. Started out on the right wing, fling it up top for the point guard. Now a feed over for Reese. Couple dribbles and a nice ball moving out of the gate for Westminster. This is something that they love to do under first-year head coach Talisha Washington. Reese now leaves it on the left wing. Corey Reese, her sister, fired a three, but left it short. And a long rebound out for Malia Hearn, back the other way for Spalding. Spalding comes in at 7-7, 5-2 in the SLIAC. Big reason why has been the play of Hunter Wright, who misses the first but follows the second. And Spalding's on the board first. Westminster comes into this game with a 5-9 record, 4-3 in SLIAC play. Reese goes to the cup and draws a foul. Westminster comes in averaging 73.4 points per game. Spalding at 71.4, so it could be a very tightly contested matchup this evening. First foul of the day, and it'll be Reese to inbound. Floats it up for Reese Arnold. 11.7 points per game for her. Dowler turns down the three, but took too many steps. So early turnover for Westminster, 0 for their first 2 in this end of the floor. The head coach for Spalding, Charlie Just, as I mentioned, in his 17th season, 500 collegiate wins for him, 750 in total. He prior coached at Mercy Academy. He played at Ohio Northern. Say Gahagan, the point guard out of Columbus, Georgia, runs the offense for Ashley Just. Couldn't get an official word on if she's related to her coach. Left wing tray left well short, and a rebound for Mickelin Callahan, the leading rebounder for Westminster. Reese out and running, gets stuffed. Nice rejection there by Megan Going. We'll stay with Westminster. Blue Jays 0 for their first 2 from the floor. Inbound and a tray right off the jump. Went halfway down and out for Reese Arnold. Spalding back the other way. Going. Tried to pull a transition 3, but her foot was on the line. So a sloppy first minute and a half of action. 2-0 Spalding. And for Westminster, the head coach Talisha Washington. In her first season, she replaces James Arnold. She was his assistant for 2 seasons prior. Kaylee Dowler tried to get things going with the 3, but Westminster 0 for its first 4. And they get it right back with a steal. Numbers for Reese, who floats it up and leaves it strong. Another chance. Halfway down and out. Reese Arnold couldn't get it to go. Ball hits the deck again. And just sells it back for Spalding. Uneven numbers leads to a right wing tray that goes. Malia Hearn sticks it down, a 35% three-point shooter. And Spalding has a 2-possession lead. Blue Jays still looking for their first bucket of the game. team that shoots 40% from the floor in the year. Dowler separates and gets stuffed. Hunter Wright does that really well. She led her team in blocks a season ago. Stay with the Blue Jays. Float in for Dowler, still looking for her first bucket, team's first bucket. Arnold loses it with 8 to shoot. Wright in transition, 1-on-2. Nice Euro step, but she took too many. Hunter Wright turns it back over, going back the other way with Westminster. Sloppy game so far, still 5-0 Spalding. We've seen a bevy of turnovers and no made shots for Westminster. 0 for their first 7, 0 of 4 from outside. Washington responds with a substitution. This is Rei Imamura, a senior point guard from Kumamoto, Japan. Great story, battling an ACL tear. As Callahan inside makes it 0 for 8 for Westminster, but it'll stay with them. Imamura is going to trigger the inbound, and getting back to her story just a little bit, she was one of the most team's firm production units as she turns it over this time last year, but suffered an ACL tear in February. Back the other way, a smart foul for Corey Reese. Stops the transition bleeding. Still no points on the board for Westminster 3 minutes in. And it'll send Malia Hearn to the free throw line, shooting 2. Sophomore out of Florence, Kentucky, 61% on the season. Gets first one to go. So make it 6-0. Spalding yet to make any substitutions. They've got their original 5 out on the floor. Second one goes for Hearn. His team shoots 59% at the charity stripe. No one up to take the inbound for the Blue Jays. They adjust as Spalding brings some pressure. Corey Reese nearly lost it, but gets fouled. Right across the 10-second stripe. And the Blue Jays will inbound from their own backcourt. Spalding finally makes some substitutions. Amber Higdon into the game for the first time, along with Kendall Powell, a third-year player in this program. Spalding 5-2 in conference. They come in at third in the SLIAC. Westminster not far behind them at 6th at a 4-3 clip. Imamura getting strong, gets bodied, and gets fouled. Second one of the game on Allison Just. And Washington makes her first substitutions of the game, aside from Imamura. Michaela Jackson into the ball game now, along with Kendall Miller. Jackson thought about a 3. But up fake leads to a 3 from Callahan, and the tray goes. Westminster on the board. They went a 7-0 hole, but they're now 1 for 8 from the floor. Corner for Gahagan. Goes right to the cup and lays it in. Say Gahagan, all defensive team last year in the SLIAC, gets her first bucket of the game. Jackson back the other way for Westminster. Reese rips through, nice extra pass. Jumper for Callahan, strong. Rebound for Powell, come back the other way with Gahagan. Spalding 3 for its first 5 from the floor. Good ball movement here for the visitors from Louisville, Kentucky. Every Golden Eagle has touched the ball in this possession. Late shot clock, Wright threw it up. Rebound for Reese. 5.5 left to play in the first. Callahan a jumper, halfway down and out. Rebound for Wright. Hearn right to the cup, gets it to go. Malia Hearn blows by a slew of Westminster defenders and scores. Imamura trying to generate offense, calls for a screen. Reese cuts, mid-range J goes. Abby Reese on the board for the first time tonight. Westminster's leading scorer at 12.7 points per game coming in. Hearn feeds it back to Wright. They bring a double, nearly steal it away. Hagen turns down a three in the corner. 8 to shoot. Hagen's got to go, and she traveled. Third travel in the game. We've seen some sloppy ball handling so far, and another turnover for Spalding. That's 4 for them on the day. Westminster has 3. More substitutions for Spalding. They've got a completely new unit on the floor. Brianna Anthony, a sophomore, subs into the game, along with Hannah Renfro for the first time today. Still the same group for the home team. Jackson for Reese. Tries a three. It goes halfway down and out. Offensive rebound, Callahan. Reese tightly guarded by Powell. Westminster going quicker. 9 to shoot. Callahan's going to do it herself. Jackson the up fake gets blocked. Great defense there by Amber Higdon. Numbers for Spalding. Trey from Anthony. Short iron and out. Long rebound for Reese. Westminster still at arm's length, down by just 6. Reese rumbles into the lane. Jumper for Callahan. Misses. Powell grabs it for Spalding. 3:30 and counting. Just calling for more of that good ball movement he saw from his ladies earlier. Bank not open that time for going. Powell strong draws a foul. That's a third on Westminster. They're going to get Abby Reese for her first. Into the game for the first time tonight is Abby Nichols, a true freshman from Otterville, Missouri, in Otterville High School. Seen some minutes for Coach Talisa Washington in her first year, as we'll keep it here during the break. 11-5, Westminster got out to that putrid start from the floor, 0 of 7 from the field. They've heated up just barely since then. They're now 2 of 7 for a total of 2 of 14 overall. They've only knocked down 1 3-point field goal, but the one area where they're really differentiating themselves is avoiding sloppy turnovers. Spalding has 4 to Westminster's 3. They've also kept a team that shoots pretty well from outside, relatively at bay. Spalding comes in shooting 33% from distance. Today, they're right at that clip so far. 1 out of 3, I beg your pardon. Westminster coming off a lackluster performance on Thursday night against Fontbonne. They fell 76-68 on this home court. Prior to that, they took a loss against Webster and had a nice win against Blackburn just a week and a half ago. Spalding coming off a heartbreaker to Eureka. That was a 1-point loss for them in the St. Louis area. Prior, they clobbered Principia and Fontbonne. So winning streak broken. And that game really has told the tale at the top of the SLIAC women's table. Powell at the free throw line. Her first one can't go. 59% at the stripe this season for the junior from Frankfort, Kentucky, and Frankfort High School. So rare to see 3-year contributors here at the Division III level, but Powell is just that. As she subs out of the game. First time tonight, we'll see Kaylee Reed into the contest. Westminster can't decide on a player to trigger the inbound, as Spalding brings a lot of pressure across the half-court stripe. Nearly stole it away. It settles down in the hands of Ray Imamura. Jackson gets to the hole and tosses it in off the glass. Michaela Jackson cuts the lead down to 5. Anthony, the low post. Strong at the rack, but it won't go. And Reese a rebound for Westminster. Imamura hands it off for Jackson, getting a lot of playing time here in the first. Imamura right to the cup and one. Ray Imamura gets it to go. Crafty score, just 3.8 points per game, but one of the most seasoned players on this Westminster roster. Nifty ball handling that time to get a bucket that the Blue Jays desperately needed. More substitutions for Coach Washington's bunch. Callahan and Dowler back into the contest. Imamura 75% at the line this year. Gets it to go. How about that? After the Blue Jays started in a 7-0 hole, this is just a one-possession game with still 2.5 and change left to play in the first. Reed now with the feed. Swing it over for Anthony in the corner. Anthony with a great idea, but not on the same page that time was Renfro, and then the fourth traveling violation of the game for Spalding. Renfro can't believe it. But it sets Westminster up with an opportunity to tie or take the lead. Coach Just in response gets some reinforcements into the game. Gahagan back into the contest along with Kendall Powell and Malia Hearn. Jackson on the left wing. Over for Callahan, the leading scorer so far for the Blue Jays. Imamura gets a screen. 7 to shoot for Callahan. Jackson with 4. Mid-range jumper. Off. And a rebound for Powell. Float up for Higdon. Minute and a half left to play. She turns it over. Another bad turnover for Coach Just bunch. They've struggled keeping the ball safe. Dowler off the rip. Can't get it to go. Another rebound for Powell. She's been all over the board so far. Spalding trying to go quickly. Waning minutes of the first period. And a good one. Powell draws contact and gets the bucket to go. How about the play of Kendall Powell so far? Not big on the scoreboard, but 5 rebounds for her. Drawing that huge and one. She'll go to the free throw line. .59% free throw shooter gets it to go, so it's a 2-possession game now. Callahan up for Dowler. No scoring action for her. Under a minute left to play in the first. And the 15th game of the year for the hometown Westminster women. Dowler, it wasn't pretty, but it goes. And finally, Kaylee Dowler, averaging 11.7 points per game, gets her first shot to go. Higdon for going. Higdon thought about a 3, but pulls it back down. More cycling. Good idea, but taken away from Westminster. Here comes Imamura. Blue Jays can hold for the last shot. And to think, after being down 7-0, 0 for their first 7 from the floor, they can tie or take the lead. Dowler tries to do it. Strong. Rebound Powell. 5 seconds to work with 3. Gahagan with 2. Floats it up, but draws a foul. Oh, she took too many steps. Initially saw a foul sign, but it turns out to be the 8th turnover of the game so far for Spalding. Coach just can't believe it, but the Westminster bench erupts. There goes the horn. First period in the books. Good one so far. Spalding with a 3-point lead on the road. Welcome back to Westminster College, I should say. Garrett Jones here with you on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Thanks for making us a part of your Saturday afternoon. Great contest so far. Westminster found itself in a 7-0 hole. Spalding roars back, and they hold a 15-12 lead after one. It'll be Spalding the inbound, moving right to left. They shot 5 of 11 from the floor. Westminster a cold 5 of 20 from the field, but some strong play in the latter minutes of the first period kept it close. Brianna Anthony inside, leaves it for Higdon. The mid-range J goes. Amber Higdon from 15 feet to make it a 5-point game once again. I was waiting to see what unfolded in a situation that happened between the break. Our official, Jesse Minton, came over and warned Charlie just as Abby Reese gets it to go from 10 feet. Didn't assess a technical foul, but he had some questionable rulings for the official after a traveling call cost Spalding a bucket. He was assessed just a warning. That scores it. Blocked down low. Really nice play by the Westminster point guard. Reese Arnold gets her hand and stuffs Brianna Anthony's shot attempt. Hunter Wright back into the game. One of the most elite players in this conference. 14 points a game and 8 rebounds for her. Second possession of the second for Spalding. 8 to shoot for Anthony. Leaves it for Higdon. Step outside. This is everything. Rebound for Arnold. Dowler slows things down. Micklin Callahan, the leading scorer for Westminster. Callahan gets it, makes an extra pass. Set play coming for Washington's bunch with 8 to shoot. Dowler's got to do something with it. Reese heaves it. Short iron. Saved for Spalding. Westminster's been able to get back within tying range, but haven't been able to do the deal so far. How about the 6th traveling violation for Spalding on the afternoon so far? They've turned the ball over now 9 times compared to just 3 giveaways from Westminster. And keep an eye on that, and that could easily keep Westminster in this ballgame. Reese, nice find for Dowler, draws contact. Offensive foul. Dowler called for the push-off. That's her first. First on the Blue Jays. Going, floats it in for Brianna Anthony as Westminster decides to bring full court pressure. Wright leaves it for Going. Heaves a 3 and it goes. Megan Going, 34% from outside on the year, gets that one to go from distance. Arnold scoops in and scores. 13.6 points a game for Reese Arnold, the leading scorer for Westminster on a per-game basis. Gets that one to go. Just back the other way. Foul's called on the floor. They'll stay with Spalding. That's the second on Westminster. Westminster's got some tough games coming up. They could really use a home win. They go on the road to McMurray. Then they battle a Greenville team that's always apt to score on January 25th. Back on the road on January 29th against Iowa Wesleyan. Just in the post. Gives it for Wright. Lost the ball. 10th turnover. Dowler finds Reese. Good up fake. 10-footer goes for Abby Reese. And some nifty ball handling to boot. Good game so far. Not even 3 minutes into the second. Hearn with a good idea, but flips it well into the Westminster bench. They're going to say it was tipped. Coach Washington and the Westminster bench can't believe it. Charlie Just takes the timeout. We'll break with him. 20-18, Spalding with the advantage on the road. Back at Westminster College, Garrett Jones here with you on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Thrilled to have you with us on a chilly Saturday afternoon. Hope you're warm wherever you're watching. Temperatures have dipped below freezing this morning in Fulton. Brianna Anthony to inbound it for Spalding. The visitors from Louisville, Kentucky throw it away. Just retreats into the backcourt and nearly lost it. Poked away there by Abby Reese. She's been a pesky defender so far. And in a timeout, Charlie Just, in his 17th season at the helm here at Spalding, implored Ashley Wright, Hunter Wright should say, one of his low post defenders, to come out or commit. In regards to our low post defense, as Spalding turns it over once again, that's 11 for them on the game. Just making some defensive adjustments. His team has never trailed in this game. They got out to a 7-0 lead. Westminster, of its first 7 from the floor. They're back within one possession here. They could tie or take the lead. Arnold lost it but got it back. Flying it down for Abby Reese. Nice attempt there at a floater, but strong defense from Hunter Wright, responding to her coach's adjustment and playing physical inside. Reese with 6 points to lead all Westminster scorers. Dangerous play on the inbound. Arnold with a little space because of it. Drives inside and floated up late shot clock. Hagen going back the other way. Going tosses a 3, short. 3 Spalding players converge on a rebound, and you have to commend the effort. The fruits of their labor is not rewarded. It'll come back the other way with Westminster. Arnold crosses the logo. Nice flip to the cup. Strong there from Reese. Numbers for Spalding. Westminster right on the precipice of taking the lead or tying this game, but every time they've had a chance, they've been unable to execute. Low post for Powell. Goes right up and under and draws contact. So she'll go to the free throw line. Been really impressed with the play from Kendall Powell so far. 4 points and 6 rebounds for her. Getting to the free throw stripe for the 3rd time this afternoon. Substitution for Westminster, Imamura in. And Corey Reese out. Brianna Anthony in for Spalding. It's Megan Going out for Coach Just Bunch. Powell at the free throw line, 59% on the season. That one goes. Makes it a 3-point contest. Second one off. And once again, it's just a 1-possession game for Westminster. With numbers trying to go, Mahern aware of it and tips it out of bounds. Imamura trying to cherry pick. The leading passer on this team with 3.2 assists per game. A true floor general. You saw a lot of that last year. As I mentioned the first quarter, she missed most of the season due to an ACL tear suffered in February. She's back here in a bench role for her senior season. Jackson going to work, flips on over for Arnold. Arnold a tray. It goes! Reese Arnold ties the game for the first time. Crowd the loudest it's been so far from the historic gym. Great ball game so far. Glad you're with us. Gahagan a J. No good from the charity stripe. Imamura slows things down as she crosses the timeline. Jackson trying to give him a lead. She got it. Michaela Jackson gets it going from outside, and it's raining threes from Fulton. Blue Jays outscoring Spalding 12-6 in the second quarter. They have their first lead of the ballgame. Right, good low post feed and a nifty reverse from Aaliyah Hearn. Spalding's led almost all of this game, not wanting to give up the lead. In and out for Jackson. Right to the cup, strong, but misses. Numbers for Westminster as they fall back in defense. Right hit the deck on the other end. Higdon turned down a three. She made one of those earlier. Right a J. It nearly settled home on the 17-footer, but a rebound for Callahan. Imamura for Jackson. On Henry P. Iba court. A graduate here at Westminster College, legendary coach with Oklahoma State University. Led that team to a national championship. Runner for Jackson, too strong. Come back the other way for Spalding. 3:30 and counting left before halftime. Gahagan tried to feed the low post. Pesky defense there from Westminster, kept right away from the basketball. Group substitution for the visitors. Kaylee Reed subs into the game along with Megan Going. And Hannah Renfro back into the contest. Anthony floats it in. Design play off the inbound doesn't work. Spalding starts from scratch. Higdon with 7. Going's got to go. 5 to shoot. Anthony's going to have to chuck it. Strong. Left iron and out. Long rebound for Westminster. Arnold goes right at the cup and scores. Reese Arnold with the runner to give Westminster back its 3-point lead. Kaylee Reed crosses in, leaves it short, rebound going, misses everything. True freshman Nichols fighting for the rebound. It'll stay with Spalding. You commend the effort there from Abby Nichols. A true freshman getting a lot of minutes for Coach Washington's bunch. Kendall Miller subs into the game as senior. And back into the game is the fiery Kendall Powell for Spalding. Hearn leading all scorers with a quiet 9 points for Spalding. Reese Arnold has 7 for the hometown. Abby Reese also pouring in 6, and a lot of energy on that defensive end. Referees converging for a discussion on the out-of-bounds play. It looks like they'll assess a personal foul at this point. And we're going again. Kaylee Reed. Over for Anthony. Anthony weaves in the low post. Pulls it back up for Reed. Reed feeds to Renfro, who hooks it right over a strong defender. Big bucket there from Hannah Renfro, the junior from Shelbyville, Kentucky. Spalding not going away. They have led most of this game. Big three, Kendall Miller. Her first jumper of the day goes, and Westminster's made 3 of its last 4 from outside. Washington and company wanted a walk. Instead, they get a whistle. It'll stay with Spalding. They're going to get Nichols for her first personal. Make that 4 team fouls for Westminster in the quarter. None on the visiting Spalding Golden Eagles. Reed takes a couple steps in. Extra pass. Strong effort there by Powell, but rebounded by Westminster. Callahan wasn't ready for the feed. It's it on over for Miller. Minute and a half left to play before the intermission. Extra pass from Imamura. Nichols going strong in the low post. You commend the effort from the true freshman, but better defense that time from Hannah Renfro. First time today we're going to see Alexandria Dyson into the ball game as Nichols just picked up her second. 7 games played for her. Push off that time. Stay with Westminster. Callahan able to draw the foul. That's the first personal on Kendall Powell. Dyson, as I mentioned, in the low post. You see her number 42 for the hometown Westminster. Playing her 8th game of the season. Miller too strong that time. Great follow there from Ray Imamura. Well out of position, but in the right place at the right time. And she's been a spark plug off the bench for Coach Washington's group. They have seized momentum. 31-18 run after Spalding took a 7-0 lead. They make it 31-20 as Spalding gets back within 4. Imamura calls for a screen with 45 left to play. Went in the low post, nearly lost it, throws it away. Bad turnover for Westminster, only their 5th on the day. .30 seconds and counting for Spalding to work with. And they take it away, but a whistle. It's coming back the other way with Westminster. Abby Nichols sub out of the game for Alexandria Dyson. And Dyson making an impact early on. Reese into the game for the true freshman. You can tell it's a player that her teammates clearly adore. Getting a lot of love from the Westminster bench. Westminster can hold for the last shot. They lead by 4. They trail by as many as 7. Screen from Callahan. Imamura dissecting the defense. With 8. Goes to the deck with 6. Jumper from Reese. Strong. Spalding can do something. 2 seconds to work with. Anthony turns down a half-court heat. So there's your halftime score, 31-27. Westminster, after a deficit, has roared all the way back to take a halftime lead. We will break with them and be back with you shortly before the 3rd period. This is Westminster women's basketball on Westminster Athletics and the YouTube page. Welcome back to historic Gym Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri. My name is Garrett Jones. Happy to be with you on a Saturday afternoon. Hope you're warm wherever you're watching. 31-27, the hometown Westminster College Blue Jays with the advantage over the visiting Spalding Golden Eagles. Spalding raced out to a 7-0 lead in this contest. Westminster 0 for its first 7 from the floor, but the Blue Jays played much better, especially shooting the basketball. 4 of 14 from outside for a 29% clip. 13 of 37 from the field for 35% in your halftime stats. Only gotten to the free throw line once so far in this contest. As for Spalding, 10 of 26 from the floor, 39%, and 29% to match Westminster's output. 2 of 7 from outside, 5 of 7 at the free throw line. The thing that's really separated these two teams in this contest has been the turnovers. Spalding with 12, Westminster with 5. And by my count, at least 5 of those for Spalding have been traveling violations. So certainly something to keep an eye on in this second half. Westminster looking for a big win at home. This would be their 6th of the season, playing in their 15th game, as there's a traveling call right there out of the gate on Reese Arnold. Sloppy ball handling so far for both these programs. Spalding visiting from Louisville, Kentucky, looking for win number 8 on the season in their 15th contest. Intercepted that time, going back the other way. Reese Arnold looking for the pick 6, lays it up and in. Big bucket for the Westminster point guard. She's got 8 on the afternoon. Gahagan back the other way for Spalding. Malia Hearn, the leading scorer, with 9 in the first. Westminster was convinced she took too many steps, but no call. Going with 9 to shoot. Building erupts as Hearn tosses it up, misses everything. Out of bounds off Gahagan, will come back the other way for the Blue Jays. Westminster went down 12-10 in that first period of action. They roar back with 19 second quarter points to take a lead they have yet to relinquish. Arnold now 4 of 7 from the floor. Feeds it over for Corey Reese. Now for Abby in the low post. Spins and wins and leaves it on the rim. Going in transition. Numbers for Spalding, a 3-on-2. Going takes it herself and gets to the rim. Megan Going with 5 on the afternoon. Just 2 of 6 from the field. Abby Reese down low, gets it to go that time. Big bucket. 12.7 points a game for her. Six on the afternoon so far. Going a feed. Gahagan, a willing passer, gets it down to Hearn. And she's the first double-digit scorer of the afternoon. 10th and 11th points of the ball game for the sophomore. Westminster running a set play under first-year head coach Talisha Washington. Reese with a screen. Separation with 7. Tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Blue Jays, but a bit of a quandary. Only 6 to shoot here in the half-court set. Got to go quickly. It's Reese to inbound. Can't find anything. Gets it to Abby in the low post. They bring a double. She goes up, but better defense. And poked away by Going. Transition numbers. Leave it for Just. Time to stop and pop and miss everything. Wright goes back up and draws a whistle. Hunter Wright will go to the free throw line. You hear the frustration from the Westminster bench. Coaches imploring their girls to block out. Westminster's a team that struggles a bit in rebounding, 38.1 a game. As Wright gets the first one to go, 69% at the free throw line this year for her. 18 and 10 in her last game. Second one's good as well. She's been quieted to just 5 and 3 in the first half. Nicklin Callahan doing some ball handling. 2-point contest. Westminster has led by as many as 6. Callahan takes and gets to the free throw line. Second team foul on Spalding. They're going to say that right with a hit to the head on the Westminster senior. That's the first personal on Hunter Wright. Callahan's first goes. 71% free throw shooter. This team shoots 69% from the charity stripe. Second one good as well. Just the second and third free throw attempts of the afternoon for the Blue Jays. They made all of them. Now for Hearn. Going tries a 3. Leaves it well short. Another foul on Hunter Wright, and you see her frustration. Clearly no ill will, but still contact in transition. They'll call that every time. Second personal for her. Corey Reese carries it in, floats it up. Set play. Arnold nearly lost it, stays with it. Whistle, and they're going to call her for a double dribble. You admire the tenacity from Reese Arnold to rumble and bumble in the low post. A little too ambitious that time. 6:41 remaining before the end of the third period. Been a great contest so far. Neither team has been able to pull away. Westminster went down 7-0. They roared all the way back. Hearn feeding the low post as Westminster brings a double. Hunter Wright nearly stronger that time, but a rebound for Callahan. Running the floor herself, leaves it for Dowler, a corner tray, good! Kaylee Dowler gets it to go. Her first 3-point basket of the game. And for a player that averages 11.5 per game, nice backdoor cut there for Just, gets right to the rim. Still a 5-point game. Westminster just built its largest lead in the game. But two teams that are really evenly matched. Showing it this afternoon on Henry P. Iba Court. Dowler tries it again. Left iron and out. Gahagan up for going. Rejected at the rim. It was actually Ashley Just that got blocked away. It'll stay with Spalding. They'll inbound from under their own basket with a clean shot clock. Feed for Wright, mid-range J. Clips out. Offensive rebound again. Lots of second chances for the Golden Eagles. A tray. Doesn't go. Again, it'll stay with Spalding. This is their fourth look at the basket in the half-court set as Westminster corresponds with a couple substitutions. Ray Imamura and Michaela Jackson back in the contest. Coach Just will call a timeout, talk things over for 30 seconds with his team. We'll break with them on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. 40-35, Blue Jays with the lead at home. And we welcome you back to Historic Gym. Garrett Jones here with you on a frigid Saturday afternoon from Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri. 40-35, the Blue Jays with a 5-point cushion. Spalding sets it up for the fourth time in the half-court set. Sega Hagan. Feed over for Ashley Just. Step out for Gahagan. Strong. Rebound Jackson. It was a good look, but it wouldn't go. And Westminster now with a chance to pull away. Reese gets a little bit of space. Too strong. Now Gahagan. Step inside. A true floor general. Nifty pass attempt that time, but it ricochets off a couple defenders. Pretty clearly over and back that time, but the officials say that it was tipped. So we'll keep going. 10 to shoot now for Spalding. Gahagan calls a set play. Screen from right. Right to the cup, draws contact, and floated it up in the stanchion behind the basket. And Gahagan's slow to get up. You hope she's all right. Fiery senior point guard, the only player on the Spalding roster not from the state of Kentucky. Spalding located in the Louisville area. They recruit very well in that area for players that want to play at the D3 level. Gahagan at the free throw line, shooting her first of the season. Leaves it on the rim, short. It was her season debut last time out. She had 7 points and 2 rebounds. The SLIAC all-defensive team last year in 29 games played off the bench. Second one in and out. So Westminster with the stand. Abby Reese slows things down. Imamura, the take. Pushed off. They'll stay with Westminster. They're going to get Wright for her third. So Hunter Wright, after a quiet first half, had just 4 points and 5 rebounds overall this afternoon. 1 of 6 from the floor. She didn't have a single foul. And she gets called for her third of the third period that time. Certainly something to keep an eye on. Players at this level foul out with 5 personal. We'll keep it here during the break as Westminster calls a timeout. Talisha Washington, as I mentioned, in her first season. She replaces James Arnold, who left after several years with the Westminster team. But no worries for the Westminster players because Washington was his assistant for a pair of seasons. She played at Missouri Southern at the Division I level, eventually transferred to Westminster, where she played from 2010 to 2013. She's also an athletic trainer here in the Fulton area, and a bevy of assistants for her. Matt Moore, Clifton Cooper, and Keener Tippin here today. Kendall Adams, also a star player for Westminster as recently as last year, also one of her assistants. She's not here today because she also serves as an assistant coach with the Hickman High School varsity basketball team in Columbia, Missouri. So they're playing a makeup game today against Republic, looking for their second win of the week. Basketball very popular in the area. Westminster, William Woods, and University of Missouri of Columbia all in the area. Dowler to inbound from under her own hoop. Great play off the inbound. America's play doesn't quite work. And Spalding comes back the other way. They've got a chance to draw within a single possession. Now up for going. Feed for Anthony. Just sub back into the game. Going tries a triple and misses everything. Slow down for Michaela Jackson as Imamura crosses the timeline. 3.5 plus left to play in the third. Westminster trying to drain out the clock. They've done a nice job to win the Storm today. Down by as many as 7. They've taken a 7-point lead. That cushion's exactly what it is after Jackson tries a mid-range jumper and gets it to go. Double dribble for Brianna Anthony, bad to worst for the visiting Spalding. Westminster has an opportunity to take a double-digit lead on this possession. Kendall Miller just subbed back into the game for the Blue Jays. Imamura calling for a horns play. Spalding trying to adjust. Miller tries a tray. It won't go. Renfro hits the deck with the rebound, trying to call for a timeout. They give it to her. Coach just imploring the officials for a break. You commend the all-out effort there from Renfro. She had to hit the deck to secure that ball.
That was a chance for Westminster to build its first double-digit lead of the day. Spalding raced out to a 7-0 lead after the Blue Jays started 0 of 7 from the field. Westminster has tied their largest lead at this point in the game with a 42-35 advantage with 2 minutes and 54 seconds left to play in the third. Blue Jays break the huddle. It'll be their basketball coming back, moving left to right. Spalding looking for its third win in its last 4 games. They took a heartbreaking loss on Thursday night to Eureka by just a point. The second place team as we play in the SLIAC this afternoon. Kendall Powell was a spark plug in the first half. She's into the game. Powell's got it on the left wing. Hearn down low, tipped away and stolen by Westminster. Abby Nichols just back into the basketball game. True freshman has brought energy. Bad pass off the face of Kendall Miller that time. Ray Mamura a little too aggressive. It'll come back the other way with Spalding. And we talked about it a bit at halftime. Turnovers have been the thing that have separated the two teams in this game. That was the 8th Westminster giveaway. Spalding with 15 on the afternoon. Strong at the rim. Powell can't get it to go. Extra effort rejected by Nichols, but a whistle. And that will send Powell to the free throw line. She has done the most work there by far this afternoon. 3 of 5 at the stripe this afternoon. 59% on the season. First one well short. Make it 3 for 6. Westminster has not had nearly as many chances at the charity stripe compared to Spalding. But the Blue Jays have done a lot better job converting. 3 of 3 from the line for the Blue Jays. 7 of 13 now for Spalding as Powell misses both. Imamura floats it up. Here's Jackson rumbling in the low post. Offensive rebound. Go right back up and score for Abby Nichols. And her teammates love it. The true freshman outplaying every Spalding player down low. 9-point advantage for the home team, the largest of the day. Signs of desperation showing for the visitors. Hearn gets a screen. Steps back for 3. Gets it to go. Smooth touch. Malia Hearn, a 35% shooter from outside. Leads Spalding scores this afternoon with 14. And back to a 6-point game. Great extra pass. Abby Reese with the runner. It goes from the block. $10 points for her to lead Westminster scores. Hearn steps into another one. Why not? Short. Rebound Jackson. Westminster with a chance to build up another double-digit lead. They tried nifty extra passes, but Spalding intercepts. They're slowing it down with under a minute left to play in the third. Hearn low post. Up strong. Powell misses the rim. Whistle on Spalding. They're going to get Renfro for her third. They'll come back the other way with Westminster. That's a 14 foul on Spalding as substitutions correspond. Megan Hayden, a true freshman, into the game for the first time. She takes Kaylee Reed's spot for Coach Josh Unit. Nothing new to report for the hometown Westminster Blue Jays. Jackson with the contact. Mid-range Shea. Rebound right. Just wants his unit to go. Right. Thought about a tray, turned it down. Spalding can hold for the last shot. Hearn with an off-ball screen. Right in the low post. Flips it up and in.
huge basket for Spalding right before the end of the third. They've got a chance to draw back within 5. Third personal on Micklin Callahan. Fourth for Westminster of the quarter. Right at the free throw line. 69% on the season. Clanks that one. 6 seconds to go. Reese with 3. Abby Reese with 2. Pulls up. Can't get it to go. That's how the third quarter ends. 46-40. Westminster with a slight cushion at home. Can they finish? Join us as we come back from the break to find out. Westminster basketball on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Welcome back to Fulton, Missouri for the conclusion of today's NCAA Division III contest in the St. Louis Intercollegiate Athletic Conference between Westminster and Spalding. Great game so far, back and forth. Westminster's really owned this game from the second quarter on. They got off to a really slow start, just 0 of 7 from the floor to start. They went down 7-0. That was the largest Spalding lead, but since then, Westminster has built as much as a 9-point lead. Spalding cut into the lead with a late run at the end of the third, and that's where we're at. A 6-point ball game as we get going in the fourth. Gahagan for Hearn. She's got 14, now 16 as she gets right to the cup. How about Malia Hearn? 12.5 points per game coming in, leading all scores with 6 field goals. And now it's just a 4-point game. Miller leaned into a tray. Westminster wanted a foul. They won't get it. Numbers for Spalding trying to make it a 1-point game. Hearn does. Well, what do we have here? Westminster built up a 9-point lead. Now it's all the way down to 1. Make it full. Corey Reese, the southpaw, leans into a 3 and gives Westminster a little breathing room. Gahagan lost it inside. Whistle on Westminster. That's the second on Corey Reese, who commits the penalty that time. It'll stay with Spalding and be Anthony to inbound. Her team trailing by 4 with 8:53 left in the fourth. Just extra feed going strong. Blue Jays with another chance to pull away. Arnold on the right wing. Jumper for Callahan, it goes. Micklin Callahan with her second field goal of the day. She's got 7. 6-point lead for the home team. Right bodying Callahan. They're able to draw a foul on the swim move. Callahan can't believe it. That's her 4th. Westminster will have to sub. Abby Nichols, a true freshman, gets into the ball game, and Hunter Wright, after a really quiet first half, just a pair of points in the first 2 quarters. She's now got a chance to add on. 2 of 3 at the line today. Gets that one to jump in. Wright averages 14 and 8 per game. One of the elite players in this conference. Led the team in blocks last year. His second one to go. Back to a 4-point contest. Westminster uses the screen to get a little separation. Another one from Reese. Arnold for Dowler. Kaylee Dowler's been really quiet in this game. Only 5 points for her. They lose it. Steal for Just. A smart foul there by Reese. Arnold prevents a transition breakaway. That's only her first personal, so a really nice play there by a Headsey point guard, sophomore from Wandell, Missouri. She's added 9 points of her own today. Abby Reese leading all Westminster scorers with 10. As Anthony retreats into the backcourt. In and out, Spalding trying to set something up. Tried to feed it right in the low post, but they fling it over her head. Dowler swings it for Reese. Crisp pass in the corner, body contact. They'll say it was on the floor and call the foul on Malia Hearn. That's the first on Hearn, so that's good news for Spalding fans. 19 points for her off 7 of 10 from the floor to lead all scores. Trey from Arnold bricks off the iron. Still just a one-possession game. Going makes it a 2-point contest. Seven for Megan Going on the afternoon. 7 minutes left to play. Entertaining contest. Arnold tried a three off the rip. Couldn't get it to go. Reese in the right place at the right time. Arnold rumbles down low. Offensive rebound. Go back up. Draw a foul. Abby Nichols will go to the free throw line. And how much can you say about the play of the true freshman off the bench? 2 points, but 3 huge offensive rebounds. As Westminster's found itself in foul trouble with its low post players, Micklin Callahan has 4 of her own. Nichols will go to the free throw line, a 41% shooter at the stripe this season. Kendall Powell into the game as Coach Just opts to rest his strongest weapon in Hunter Wright for the finish. First one goes for Nichols. Westminster shoots 69% from the charity stripe on the season. That could be a big advantage down the stretch. Spalding shoots just 59%. As Nichols cashes in both. What a performance by the true freshman. Anthony, a feed for Just. Spalding slowing things down with another true freshman in Megan Hayden. Anthony with a little bit of space, turns down to 3. With 10 to shoot in the low post. Just tries a triple. Strong offensive rebound, follows her shot, goes back up. Body contact, and she'll go to the free throw line. Spalding staying in this game after Westminster built as much as a 9-point lead in the late third period. Just gets the first one to go, 66% at the stripe this year. And the second one it goes, so right back to a 2-point contest. Kayla Jackson back into the game. Kaylee Reed checks in for Spalding, along with Hannah Renfro. Imamura to inbound. Westminster using all of its 5 to get this ball in amid a full court press. Jackson slows things down. Hand off for Imamura. Nice idea, but that pass goes begging. Couldn't find Reese Arnold in the low post, and suddenly Spalding has an opportunity to tie or take the lead. Boy, it was Spalding that came out of the gate running. They had a 7-point advantage in the first. That lead dwindled all the way down. Westminster eventually built up a 9-point cushion. And now the lead's dwindled all the way down to 2. Higdon turns it over. Right back in the hands of Just. Rejected by Abby Reese, and Westminster gets it back. Well, how about the play of the sophomore from Cape Girardeau, able to get down and dirty in the low post and rip the ball away. Costly giveaway on that possession for Spalding. Both teams averages north of 70 points per game, so they've still got some work to do if they want to reach those totals, but plenty of time to do it. 53-51 as we play with 5:38 left to play in the fourth. Screen from Reese. Monroe with a little separation. 3 to shoot with 2, with 1. Reese flings it up. Offensive rebound. Stolen away by Brianna Anthony. 2 on 4. Spalding slows down, even it out. Kaylee Reed feeds it on over Brianna Anthony. Going up the baseline. Flip to Hearn. Short. That would have given him the lead. Malia Hearn has been a force to be reckoned with. 7 of 11 from the field now. Jackson right to the hole. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound up. Gets violated. She'll go to the free throw line. Commendable effort there from Michaela Jackson, a junior from Eureka, Missouri, and Eureka High. 47% at the charity stripe, so hold your breath if you're a Westminster fan. First one goes. Very valuable player off the bench, 25 minutes in the last game. 2 for 2. Big free throws there from Michaela Jackson. She has been an extremely valuable contributor, and she ties her season high. How about 9 points on the afternoon? That matches her output on December 18th against Washington University. Sega Hagen, her team trailing by 4. 4.5 left to play. Gahagan just leans into a 3. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound. Misses iron. Rebound Dowler, but she's chasing in the corner. This one's out of bounds off Spalding. Big break there for the Blue Jays. Set play coming for Westminster in the half-court set. Reese fighting for position in the low post. Dowler a tray, misses everything. Anthony nearly lost it, intercepted by Imamura. Numbers for Westminster. Reese flings it to Callahan. Offensive foul. Westminster had the 2-on-1. Abby Reese can't believe it. But commend the job by Malia Hearn, using her body in the low post. Give her team the basketball back. That was a sure bucket for Westminster. They give it away. Michaela Jackson back into the game for Westminster. Coach Washington really happy with her effort as she comes to the bench. This one far from a foregone conclusion. Less than 4 minutes left to play. Westminster looking for win number 6 on the season. This would pull them into a tie for second place in the SLIAC women's table. Abby Reese was all over that one, almost took it away. Swiping on Just. She goes right at Reese and draws a foul. That's her third personal and the team's 5th. Going into the basketball game. Fans starting to file in for the men's game, and we invite you to stick around. After the conclusion of this one, we'll have the contest of the Spalding men taking on the Westminster men. Tip-off estimated at 3 o'clock from Henry P. Court. Second one for Just goes. So once again, back down to a 2-point game. In the fourth quarter, Spalding's been able to whittle it away. They haven't been able to secure the lead. Pressure comes. They tip it away out of bounds. We'll stay with Westminster. And you see Coach Just right in the middle of the action as Washington calls the timeout. We'll break with them. 55-53, 3 minutes and 23 seconds left to decide the winner of this one on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. Back with you at Historic Gym, Garrett Jones here on the Westminster Athletics YouTube page. 55-53, a slim advantage for Westminster, the home team. Blue Jays will inbound in their backcourt. Margin for error is none. Looking for win number 6 on the season. Callahan with nifty move in the low post, can't get the runner to go. Spalding can tie or take the lead. They slow things down here with just over 3 minutes left to play. Hunter Wright is at the scorer's table ready to check back in. Going, slips away. Gahagan, a little bit of space. Imamura wore the contact and they'll get her for a whistle. That's the 6th personal. 16th foul, I should say. The first personal on Imamura. Westminster over the bonus, so we're shooting 1-1 from here on out. And it clips out. They'll give Gahagan a pair at the free throw line. Second one goes. Spalding right at the precipice of regaining its lead. They raced out to a 7-0 advantage in the first. They have not had the lead since. Firing the low post. Miller able to draw the foul. Blue Jays have led by as many as 9 in the mid-third quarter. They have yet to pull away. It's Reese to the free throw line. 71% of the season. First one clanks out. Second one goes. Right back to a 2-point lead. Spalding once again can tie or take the lead. They've been right on the precipice of doing it. ISO ball for Gahagan. Over for going. Going a feed. 8 seconds to shoot. Gahagan calls for a screen with 5, with 4. Has to take it herself. Lays it up and in to tie the game. Say Gahagan, welcome to the game. That's just her 5th points in the afternoon. 2:14 left to play for Westminster. Dowler in the corner. Only 5 points for an 11-point score. Reese cuts to the basket and lays it up and in. Abby Reese with her 11th and 12th points of the game, none bigger than that prior. Gahagan a feed for going in the corner. Under 2 minutes left to play. Contact, no whistle. Gahagan looking to create separation in the post. They get it to Wright. Hunter Wright sticks with it, scores plus a foul. What a disaster for Westminster. They forced Gahagan into a bad pass. It wound up in the arms of Wright, and she was able to corral it and not only score but draw a foul. Right at the foul stripe, 4-5 on the day. And Spalding has the lead. Westminster hasn't trailed since the early second quarter, but now they're down by a single point. How will the hometown Blue Jays respond? Minute and a half to work with. Arnold a tray. Skips off the scoreboard and off. Bad break for Westminster. They had a good look. And Arnold routinely a good three-point shooter at 37% on the year. But it doesn't work that time. And she's pulled. Corey Reese back into the basketball game. Westminster doesn't need to play the foul game just yet. Imamura trying to force a steal. ISO ball for Gahagan once again. They run a set play. Minute and change left. Gahagan left open. Triple goes. Say Gahagan, what a time for her first three of the season. It gives Spalding a 4-point game. The visitors trying to steal one here at Historic Gym. And Westminster back the other way, trying to push it. But a good job by Spalding to get in between. He'll stay with the Blue Jays. Timeout, we'll keep it here during the break. 102 left, 62-58. How about the scoring run for Spalding? They trailed in the third and the second scoring-wise, but they have outscored Westminster 22-12 in this final frame. They're in a position to steal one. Westminster went down early. They couldn't buy a bucket in the first. Much better offensively in the second and third. And now in the fourth, they've kept Spalding at bay. The Golden Eagles just waited on their chance to pounce. And Sega Hagen able to make it a two-possession game with a three-point on the ultimate Golden Eagles possession. Westminster with a chance in the half-court set. We're under a minute. Imamura got to make something happen. Nearly lost it. Dowler open. Good. Kaylee Dowler makes it a one-point game once again. She couldn't be found offensively in the second and third, but she steps up when they need her desperately. Spalding takes a timeout as they get it back into their half court. We're going to keep it here during the break once again. How about Kaylee Dowler stepping up for a big bucket when Westminster needed her desperately? She's got only 8 points on the afternoon. She comes in averaging 11.7, the junior from Barnesville High School. Abby Reese leads Westminster scorers with 12. Reese Arnold's got 10. Malia Hearn started out 7 of 10 from the floor, 19 points for her. Hunter Wright quiet in the first, much better in the second. She's got 11 and 7. 8 big points for Sega Hagen. She was really quiet in the first. That puts us right where we were. Westminster is led by as many as 9. Spalding by as much as 7. But a fourth quarter run has put Spalding in a position to win. It'll be going to inbound right in front of us. They'll set up in the half court. Going Hearn, Wright, and Gahagan for the team on offense, along with Ashley Just. 38 left to play. Hearn, been big this afternoon, floats it to Wright, gets separation and scores. Hunter Wright with a big bucket. And now Westminster can tie. Arnold, they need a three. 27 left to play, now 25. Reese gets it to go! Abby Reese ties the game. Spalding can go, they can hold for the final shot. 15 seconds left to play. Who's going to win it? Gahagan, one-on-one. 9. Gahagan with 8. Slows things down. Gahagan with 6. Going to hold for the final shot. Gahagan with 2. Floats it up. No good. Overtime it is. Sega Hagen playing ISO ball. She hit the big 3 earlier, but she couldn't get the runner to go that time. And free basketball at Westminster. We'll break quickly and be back with you for the overtime. Well, I hope you're in the mood for some free basketball from Historic Gym on the campus of historic Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri. My name is Garrett Jones. It's been a pleasure to be with you for this really evenly matched contest. Westminster had as much as a 9-point lead in the second half. They saw that dwindle thanks to a Spalding run. 28-18, they outscore the Blue Jays in the fourth. Nichols wins the tip. Gehagen was huge in that fourth. She's got it and goes right to the cup, leaves it short right. A rebound, foul. On the arm. Wright thought it was on her out of the gate. She couldn't believe it. Westminster still can't believe it. That's the second on Reese Arnold. 5 minutes of extra basketball. Winner take all. Westminster looking for win number 6 on the season. This would be their 5th in the SLIAC. Spalding with a game of positioning up on Westminster. They are 5-2 in the SLIAC, looking for win number 8. Second one goes for Wright. She's had a really good day at the line. Nifty play there by Gehagen to tip it out of bounds. It'll stay with Westminster coming back the other way. Westminster in the alternate gray jerseys, moving right to left. Spalding, the visitors, in the gold and blue, moving left to right. Arnold, body contact, crosses the timeline. 4:45 left to play. We invite you to stick around for the men's game. It's really set to tip off at 3, but understandably, with how close this contest has been, it will be delayed due to overtime. Finish at the rim. Kaylee Dowler tucks it in. And Kaylee Dowler had a big 3 late in the fourth to even keep it close and put Westminster in a position to get it to OT. It was Abby Reese with the big bucket to send it to the extra frame. And Gehagen missed on the other end. Runner goes. Going was surprised that one went. But a 2-point advantage once again for Spalding. Here's Arnold in the half court. Just under 3 left to play. Feed down low. Nichols, true freshman, gets space and scores. How about that? Abby Nichols with no fear, going at the player that led Spalding in blocks last year. Tie game once again, and Nichols has been huge for first-year head coach Talisha Washington. She's got 6 and 4 off the bench. Hunter right in the low post. Feed to Wright. On the rip through. Gets to the cup. Draws contact. And she'll go to the free throw line. Well, Wright was super quiet in that first half. She had just 5 points by my count, but she's pulled away for 15 in the second in the OT. 7 of 8 at the free throw line. That's been a huge part of that. This was a player that came into the game shooting just 69% from the stripe. Shooting 2. First one goes. We get 8 out of 9. There's been a significant disparity in free throw chances for these two teams. Spalding now 19 of 27 at the stripe. Westminster 8 of 9. So the Blue Jays have been shooting better with the extra opportunities, but Spalding's been getting there more frequently. 2-point lead. Arnold, space, jumper, goes! 3 points for Reese Arnold. 37% from outside on the season. Westminster knows who to go to when they're looking for a 3. And they take the lead for the first time since the mid-fourth. Jumper for going, halfway down and out. Fight for a rebound, coming back. It'll stay with Spalding. Great effort that time from Hannah Renfro. Westminster gets the inbound. Under 3 left to play. Blue Jays trying to hold on in what's been an incredibly evenly matched team. Wouldn't be surprised if these two teams meet later in the SLIAC postseason slate. Imamura calls for a screen, gets one from Callahan. Almost a giveaway. Arnold with 5, Arnold with 3, feed for Reese with 2, strong. Rebound for Anthony as Imamura hits the deck. Numbers for Spalding, cherry picking, going a tray, short. Rebound for Arnold. And Westminster can hold for a 3 or 4 point lead. Just over 2 minutes left to play. Overtime at Historic Gym. Screen from Callahan. Imamura triple. Strong. Rebound for Hearn. Spalding looking to take the lead. Anthony turns down a tray. Leave it for Hearn. Just wide open. Strong. Loose ball, rebound, and a foul. Imamura does a nice job of wearing it. They're going to get Anthony on the push. That's her second personal. 5 team fouls apiece. Imamura in the 1-and-1. On the season, 75% from the line. Today, she's 1 of 1 from the charity stripe. First one goes. Can't make enough out of how strong Westminster's been from the free throw line. Now 9 of 10 on the day. Make it 10 of 11. 3-point cushion for the hometown Westminster. A minute and a half in change left to play in the OT. Hearn leaves it for Gahagan. Now for Brianna Anthony. Runs to the rim, leaves it short. And Westminster with the chance to take a 2-possession lead. A minute and change left to play. Westminster had a 9-point lead in the third. They lost that. Spalding took a lead in the late fourth. Westminster able to tie and get us where we're at. Arnold inside, draws a foul. She gets the deck hard. They're going to get her for too many steps. Unbelievable call that time. Reese Arnold, a really tough player. She hit the floor and popped right back up. Bit of a bailout call there for Spalding. New life breathed into the visitors. Under a minute left to play. What will the finish hold? Malia Hearn leads all scorers with 19, but she's been quiet. Gahagan, the point guard. Leaves for Hearn, a tray. Strong. Rebound Callahan. And now if you're Spalding, when do you foul? They try for a steal. Just tells his players not to foul. Under 30 left to play. Westminster trying to put it on ice. Shot clock and game clock separated by 7. Imamura with 8. Imamura with 7. Tries to do it herself, flips it up and off. Offensive rebound, Spalding, timeout. They've got 10 and a half seconds left to work with. Imamura had a chance to separate Westminster and give them a 2-point lead with an inside bucket, but she has trouble finishing at the rim. So that leaves us right where we're at. 5 team fouls apiece. Coach Just and Spalding just used their timeout. Spalding will inbound from their own backcourt, and they'll have 10 seconds to try to send us to another frame. Anthony's going to sub back into the game. Have to think they'll look to Malia Hearn. 19 points on the afternoon, 3 of 7 from outside, 7 of 12 from the floor. But with a player like Hunter Wright averaging north of 14 points a game, 18 points last time out, 17 tonight, such a threat inside. Have to think that they could also design a play that works in the low post. Talisha Washington in her first season looking for a signature win on her home floor. And we remind you and play that you stick around for the men's game as you see the Spalding men starting to creep into Historic Gym. That game was originally set to tip off at 3 o'clock. It's obviously been delayed because of the overtime, but certainly worth it. Some great hoops from Fulton this afternoon on a frigid day in mid-Missouri. The action's been hot in here. Going, will inbound. Flips it to Hearn. Hearn with 9. Just heaves it up. Strong. Fight for a rebound. Go back the other way with Westminster. Westminster digs its heels in, makes one last defensive stand, and if they can sink some free throws, they'll be able to seal this one. Well, they called Kendall Powell on a loose ball foul, I should say. That's her third personal. She was great off the bench, 5 points and 7 rebounds, brought a lot of energy, got to the free throw line. But a little egregious that time with contact, and Nicklin Callahan can put it away. 71% of the season, drains the first. Callahan struggled from the floor, struggled with fouling, but 3 of 3 at the line. Make it 4 of 4. Westminster with a 5-point cushion. Inbound for Just. They got to go quick. Pulls up from 3, leaves it short. Rebound, Reese. Overtime win for Westminster. They take it by a final score of 75-70. The Blue Jays fight all day long, even though they gave away a big lead late in the game. Spalding comes up just short, and Westminster improves to 6-9 on the season, 5-3 in SLIAC play. Spalding loses its second straight to drop to 7-8 on the year, 5-3 in the St. Louis Intercollegiate Athletic Conference as well. That'll do it for our first broadcast of the day. We've got 20 minutes separating this one and the start of the men's game. Also, you can see it here on Westminster Athletics' YouTube page. Thanks for watching with us. My name is Garrett Jones, signing off on behalf of our whole crew. Stick with us for the men's game. We'll see you in about 20 minutes.